So this morning, Texas state lawmakers are busy getting ready for the impeachment trial of the state's Attorney General, Ken Paxton.
Yeah, he is a former President Donald Trump supporter, and some consider one of the country's rising conservative figures. Now, the Republican-controlled Texas House of Representatives overwhelmingly voted to impeach Paxton over the weekend, sending 20 articles of alleged misconduct in office over to the Senate, which will conduct the trial sometime this summer. Stephanie Haines is here to break down those 20 articles of impeachment. So, Stephanie, what exactly is Paxton accused of? We're hearing some of them have to do even with an alleged affair, which we have a lot of questions about.
I just don't understand, Stephanie, what an affair has to do with these charges for impeachment, because there are a lot of people who probably have had affairs in the House. I'm just saying.
That is true, and that is actually one of the articles of impeachment, you guys. There is actually a laundry list of allegations here, and one of the main points of criticism among Paxton's supporters is that a lot of these accusations have been out in the public eye, and yet voters have still solidly elected him 3 times. So there are 20 articles of impeachment, and they fall under 3 main categories that are looming over Paxton. And the first group kind of center around his allegedly using his office to try to help his friend, donor, and real estate developer Nate Paul. They accuse Paxton of interfering in foreclosure proceedings of some of Paul's properties and trying to get him inside information during a criminal investigation that Paul helped renovate Paxton's home in exchange for this. And one article, as you guys both mentioned, alleges Paxton had Nate Paul hire the woman with whom Paxton was having an affair. And get this, Paxton's wife, as you said earlier in the break, is a state senator, and it's not clear at this point if she will recuse herself from the Senate trial. Now, because of all these claims about Nate Paul, that's where the next group of articles comes in. People who worked for Paxton raised their concerns about the Nate Paul allegations and were fired back in 2020. So they filed a whistleblower lawsuit, which Paxton wanted the state to pay a $3.3 million settlement. And it's because of this request that a House committee launched this investigation, and now the Department of Justice is also looking into it. The third group of allegations centers around this 2015 case against Paxton in his home county, where he was indicted for securities fraud or investment fraud. That case has yet to go to trial, and those articles accuse him of interfering with the case and lying to officials about his financial statements.
This is about facts, and this is about evidence, and at the end of the day, my colleagues and I will not stand for public corruption.
Now, there may be a lot of evidence out there. There may be volumes of evidence that would justify impeachment, but we don't got it. We don't have it. It's not there.
Paxton denies these allegations and calls this impeachment process illegal, unfounded, and unethical. But it's really up to the state Senate. They are going to act as the jury for when this case, this impeachment trial, goes to trial later in the summer. We don't know the date for that just yet. In the meantime, Paxton is suspended. And one more thing I got to note, Adrienne and Kelly, Governor Greg Abbott has not said a word about this.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.